Omotoke Olugbode, and she's the founder of the Autism Awareness Foundation, and she'll be talking about assisting special needs children using innovation. Thanks for joining us on Take Up Toke.
Thank you so much for having me.
You look good, by the way.
Thank you. You too.
So let's start. Let's begin with your journey into handling special needs individuals, special needs children, the parents and the guardians. How come?
Okay, so basically I have my background in education. So that's kind of spurred me into, as a teacher, I go to school and every other thing. And then I discovered that, yeah, even while in secondary school, we have people living with special needs, but then, we don't really know that this is what they have. But due to my background in education and everything that, we're taught, I discovered that even I, as a teacher, I have little or no knowledge when it comes to special needs children and, people living with disabilities. So I decided to, maybe I can make a difference.
But hold on, did you come across any special needs children before you were able to come to this decision?
That's the funniest part. I have never met any child with special needs way before them, but during my secondary school I used to have a friend then but that was with a physical disability, and I discovered how many times she missed schools, how many times we have to raise funds for her just for her to go to school and all of that. So by the time I finished my university and I was working with a primary school, and you see children in the classroom struggling with different things, sometimes with reading, sometimes with letters, and all of us, we teachers, we are all confused. We are just like, oh, this child is naughty, this child is olodo, just like the way we say. And we go all about with so many words. And, it just struck me that maybe this child is not actually an olodo. Maybe we are the ones that have not actually gotten a way through to teach them and to make them learn. And that was how my journey began, trying to read online articles, trying to get more knowledge. And in reading, I came across autism. And I'm like, wow, I've never heard of this before. And, I delve deeper and deeper. And the more I delve, the more people are like, oh, you're doing this, fantastic. You're doing this, awesome. And I'm like, okay, maybe I have a calling attached to this. And that was how I started. I just, continue to share tips, continue to make sure that people were aware. And I continue to receive positive feedback from people. And I'm like, okay, let me just... So a lot of people look at me and they're like, do you have a child with special needs? Do you have a family? I'm like, I don't have anybody, but I just believe that if this is what I can do to make a difference, then sure, I'm happy doing it.
I mean, Toke, I'm really proud of you right now.
Thank you so much.
Speaking, I am. And people think in this part of the world tend to think that it is a problem for the Oyibos, the people living abroad, unknowing that it happens to people in Nigeria. So did you get all your education? Did you get all your skills acquisition when it comes to dealing with children with special needs from Nigeria?
Yeah, I did, and then also I had an opportunity through the Mandela Washington program to travel to the US, and I did a 6 weeks internship with Department of Behavioral Health and Intellectual Disability at Philadelphia.
So what did you see? How did you see the way they were helping these kids interact with technology or innovation so that they can improve their life?
When you talk about the US is a little bit advanced more than us. They have all this technology that aids. At a point I came up with a child, and the child is non-verbal. That means he can't speak. And, he has this tab that helps the child. You just point at the different emotions, and the tab will be the one to voice out, what the child needs at that time. Here in Nigeria, before you can get such tab, you know how much you will have spent. And we have lots of middle income and lower income parents. So in terms of technology, they are way, way ahead of us. They are way, way ahead of us. And I won't say they are perfect, because they also have some of their own challenges. Over here, people can practice as individual. You can set up your own center, but over there, it's kind of difficult. Everything has to pass through the government, and sometimes children have to wait before they get access to some, but then I'll say, the world is fast changing. We need to keep up and catch up with the trend of things. So, yeah, COVID-19 definitely teaches us that in a hard way.
So how were you able to handle these kids now? Because, they have to stay back with their parents at home and their guardians at home. How were you able to handle them during the COVID-19? Did you leave them to their fate, or were you able to use innovative means to get across to them?
I think during the COVID-19, one of the things that helped us was because we already have a mindset of we already have a mindset of, you know, how do we use technology to help these children? That came up late 2019, and we're already developing an app called Terra Connect. And, you know, we're like, how do we ensure that this Terra Connect really solve the problem that we want it to solve? And then COVID-19 happened. And, you know, because COVID-19 happened, it really helped us. It really, you know, put us in the process of, okay, why most of the time therapists have to be, you know, in the school physically with children? COVID-19 taught us that we have to rethink. So that app is to ensure that parents can get therapists within their proximity. You know, there was a lockdown, so therapists can just get, parents can get therapies that are just like maybe 3 houses away from them. They don't have to take the bus, they don't have to take anything. But sometimes parents don't know that they have these resources close to them. They have this pool of people that could help them. So the Terra Connect app is targeted towards solving that process. And look at it, COVID-19 is still around the corner.
Yes.
So what we also did was to also train parents to be able to do a little bit of, you know, therapy and support for their children. During the COVID-19 lockdown, I had a parent called me from, I think, Germany. He was, you know, and I'm like, okay, what I can do is, thank God for WhatsApp. We could have a WhatsApp video. Like, then once in a week, we do have this WhatsApp video where we talk about, oh, the child is not doing this. How can we get her to do it? The child is not achieving this. How can we get her to? And that made me understand that, oh, Terra Connect is such a beautiful idea that has come to solve a lot of problems.
Wow, that's so beautiful. So, summarily, as you can put it, what do you expect to see out of Nigeria when it comes to using innovative means to? What are your hopes?
I hope that we'll be more open, you know, to receiving technology. Most of the parents that we try to do the prototyping for were like, oh, the only thing that will make them download an app is if there's confidentiality and there is trust. So I think people want to use technology. People are open, you know, they could use technology to solve lots of their problems, but then they also want to be sure that whatever I'm downloading, there's confidence. You know, when you work with children with specialty, there's a lot of trust and everything there. Some parents don't like exposing whatever it is that they're passing through. So we try to ensure that in building the app or whatever technological devices that people will be building going forward, the confidentiality aspect needs to be, you know, and then awareness, you know, as we go on, as we continue to share awareness, you know, it was not like this few years ago, but then it's getting better and people are more open to technology.
Thank you so much for sharing with us. Omotoke Olugbode, the founder of the Autism Awareness Foundation, for sharing your thoughts and your dreams with us about helping kids with special needs. I do hope it will improve just the way you saw it when you went to the United States. You want it to be like that, right? Yeah, more and more. In fact, more, you know, more improved than that. But then we can start on their level. Absolutely, we can start on their level. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.